To get started on the Yarr's Return questline, you have to complete a mission which is called variously Yarr's Return, Pirate Attack, or Defend the Pirate Munitions. This has to be completed within the Venture Zone, so whatever progress you've made in Scurvy Shoals Ventures will dictate the level of mission that you can access. So I just clicked the launch button and it took me to the 108s because I'm in the tail end of Ventures. So for this I'm going to use Machinist Harper for the additional durability on traps, recycling to get some of my resources back, lofty architecture, power modulation, MegaBASE, the standard sort of jailing type heroes, Cupid's arrow, survivalist, and then I've got banner and a stationary hover turret as my gadgets. When you launch into the mission, there's a load of intro dialogue.
Last time we had a pirate raid, I prepared a stash of anti-pirate munitions.
Essentially, it's telling you need to look for an X on the map, which is where Lars has hidden some weapons to fight against pirates.
It's a simple concept, really. You defend the target, and there are cannons.
So there's no way of locating this by looking up in the sky like a balloon. You just have to run around the map until you spot it or it appears on your mini-map. And as you can see, it's appeared on my mini-map. I've not noticed just yet. Then we turn around and go all the way back again. I'm not sure whether it will only pop up when you get close to it or whether it happens to pop up wherever you are with Lars's dialogue, but you get an X on the map. X on the floor rather, that you have to dig up a pirate chest. Now before you dig that up, because a timer will start immediately you've dug that up, you want to make sure you've cleared down any random husks that are patrolling, because you don't want to end up getting knocked and wasting time. So use your pickaxe to dig up the munitions, and it spawns a box with 4 cannons around it. The cannons can be fired, but they are very slow to fire and they don't really help. They just get in the way, to be honest. So I'm going to build around this using walls with doors edited in them, and the reason for that, if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that propanes don't throw tanks at walls with doors in them, and smashers don't charge at walls with doors in them. Okay, so now I've put the basic structure down the bottom. The wolf there has damaged that wall quite a lot. Just to repair that, upgrade the walls at the bottom to tier 3. Don't need to upgrade the walls that are higher up because nothing should be attacking those. And now I'm going to use a ramp up here so that I can get up and I can place some floors from the top. Not quite reach there. Okay, if you've seen my videos on how to do 160 missions solo, you'll recognise this kind of build. And then just here on the ramp I'm going to use these edited wooden stairs, they're designed from Hubo. And that will just stop husks even trying to walk up there. They won't see it as a valid path. Mist monsters and mini bosses will just walk straight through, but most basic husks will just turn around and walk away. Okay, I'm going to put another one at the top of this ramp because what I don't want is anything that spawns up here to walk up and just walk across the top and straight onto the top of the defence. So I'll put them off there, and similarly here they might walk across, so I'm just going to place another floor here. That just puts the husks off. When it comes to husk pathing, if it's going to take them longer to bash through whatever it is in the way between them and the objective and to walk around it, they will generally walk around it to a degree. It's around about 3 tiles movement, but there, by putting those walls at the end of the path across and the wall at the top, and there will be some floors inside, that means they're going to have 4 layers to get through before they even get to the objective if they go the top way, so they're likely to just walk off the side and walk underneath into where the traps are. Okay, just going to upgrade these bottom walls now to tier 4. That wolf is really getting on my nerves. As you can see, the timer is running down. You do get 4 or 5 minutes to build these, so there is plenty of time, but you don't have time to be messing around too much with stuff. Seem to be quite lucky with patrols as well at the moment. Nothing's really come down here. Okay, so I'm going to use Tyre traps up at the top, I need a few more of those. It's power level 108 mission. I could probably get away with power level 77 traps here, but I'm going to use 106. I've got plenty of materials, and because it's Ventures, I've actually got more tier 4 materials now than I have tier 3 materials. So I might as well use these tier 4 traps. So 2 drop traps on each arm to push the husks away. The drop traps aren't there necessarily to kill the husks, they're there to push them away. And when placing them, you need to make sure your back is in the direction that you want the husks to be pushed. You can tell which way the husks are going to be pushed because if you look at the trap itself, it has an exhaust pipe, and that will point in the direction the husks are going to get pushed more. So you can use them to bully the husks in a particular direction if that's what you want to do. Okay, so now I've got the base on top. I'm going to put some floor freeze traps. Tier 3 is plenty, they're there again to slow the husks, they're not going to do any damage. A higher tier trap will have more impact, but the impact from those is insignificant compared to what you get from the tyre traps. And that's the build all done. Now a 5-minute defense period. So I'm just going to try and stay out of the way, just make sure that nothing is going wrong, shoot a few husks here and there. So some have spawned up at this top bit here, I think. No, there was a ramp I didn't notice, so I'm just going to quickly put some stairs across this if I can to stop the husks from walking up here. So as you can see, they're bashing on it. As soon as I edit it, all of a sudden it breaks their AI and they turn around and just walk into a different direction. And they're now going to walk all the way around this outcrop rather than across the top, which means that, you know, their timer before they despawn is already going down, so they're going to have less time to bash on the walls. And there you can see these tyre traps are demolishing the husks. They all seem to be basic husks at this point. I've not seen anything too worrying, so I'm just going to use the time that I've got. Not going to wander too far away, but I'm going to just harvest up some materials from the immediate location. So a few of the husks are more interested in me than they are in pirate munitions, but that's fine. I can stay up here out of the way and it can't get to me. There's a few husks spawning up here. Just make sure that they're going to walk where I want them to. That's it, yeah, straight down the side. So yeah, all relatively simple. Not seeing a lot of mist monsters. I would have expected to see more. If this was a retrieve the data, I would have had smashers, and flingers, and bombers, and all that kind of good stuff. There's a blaster that I've just spotted there. That's the first of the mist monsters that's arrived. I don't know whether there's a lower percentage chance of getting mist monsters, perhaps because it's a power level 108 mission. There's a few less. Just going to have a quick check just to make sure nothing's going wrong. All seems to be handling it fine. So we're just going to continue on. So with any of these kind of defences where you're relying on the traps to stall the husks, you have to be really careful of animals, because even though smashers won't charge at walls and propanes won't throw their tanks at walls, they will charge at an animal that happens to be wandering near the objective, and that can bash through the walls. I wouldn't necessarily call this an AFK build, just because I don't think you should AFK or truly AFK any mission really. because you never know, something could go wrong. A husk might just get distracted by something and walk the wrong way and not follow your path, follow the right path. An animal might come along. You never know, there's all sorts of things that could go wrong. So no build, no matter how it's advertised, is truly 100% AFK. You will have occasions where you can completely AFK a mission, you'll have other mission, even the same mission, you could repeat the same mission and be able to AFK at one time and not AFK at another time. You just have to be aware of what's going on at all times. But as you can see, those tyres are just absolutely destroying any of the husks that fall down. I've not had any missed monsters really apart from that blaster. It's been a pretty simple defense. Just using that standard mushroom build. And there we go. And that essentially is the defense part completed. Now, because it's a quest line, we get a load more dialogue between Blakebeard and Ray and other members of home base. Unfortunately, there's no way to speed that up. You have to sit through it all. If you quit out now, then it doesn't count as the mission being completed. You need to wait until the little timer thing appears on the left to say that the mission is complete.
Sarcasm. I died. My life flashed before my eyes, then my heart stopped beating.
And all the time that that's going on, there's other husks that are still spawning. They're nothing to do with the defense, they're just random patrols that are going to come along. And there we go, that's the mission now complete. Just wait for the victory screen. Thank you for watching.